Alright, so today we are going to be redoing our villager trade-in hall. Those that don't know, I believe it is to this side over here is where our trade-in hall used to be. It was an encoded trade-in hall down over here somewhere, where we had the piston bolt over to the actual encoded bit where we had about 60 villagers or so. We had all of the trades and everything like that for all the books. But we recently don't really need the void at all. There's really not a point for the void for us at this point. So what we're going to do is be redoing the whole entire thing. We're going to be moving it right to our gateway, which is right there, which I have built something around that will obviously house it. And we have the foundation of the first layer that we will be encasing our new hall with, which is going to be a sort of temple-ish build. With the deep slate emeralds, and I think a bit of oxidized copper in there, a bit of worked wood, and that's kind of the color palette we're going to be going with here. But yeah, I'm going to try filling that up very soon. We did move all of the important villagers out of the hall that we had before. So we have all of our books here. That's going to be pretty annoying to do, but I think Rubik may have named pretty much all of them, so that will be helpful when moving these back into place. Obviously, there's a couple of clerics here, but that's not too big of a deal. I do need a couple of these guys here so we can make a breeder. As the main thing we're going to be using it for is actually going to be the clerics for the bottles of enchanting. That was the main idea, but then I kind of figured, you know, if we're going to be redoing it, added a new section, we might as well redo it entirely. That way, everything is all new and improved. So yeah, this is the entire material list here with around 70,000 items. Not too bad. We have extra workstations here that we will be adding in later down the line. But yeah, everything is all in place for the first layer, so I'm going to build it up a little bit. We're not going to have the trading area to the very top, so I might start getting work on the breeder, letting that ramp up in the background while I do build some of the stuff. It's still going to take quite a while to get this here. There's a lot of slabs and stairs on the top and the bottom, so we'll have to work around that. As you know, if you've ever built with slabs and stairs, this first layer is even annoying because it's alternating slabs and stairs every other direction. So that was, you know, not fun, and plus it's over the void, so never the most fun thing to do. So yeah, we get back to working on this. Maybe once I get, you know, a good ways up to, you know, the end gateway level, I'll probably start sidetracking and working on the villager area for the breeder. Alright, so it's been a full day later and we have quite a bit done so far. I believe we are over 60 or 70%. 60 seems about to be right, to be honest with you, because there's still, you know, 8 more pillars to do, as well as the rest of the connecting roof and whatnot, as well as some of these little sections here in the middle like we did over here. So I have all 4 of these little chandeliers, I'm going to call them, because they have the sea lanterns in them. I have all 4 of those all done and dusted, but we still got to do 3 more of these in between the outer 2 pillars on each side. Well, the outer inner pillars, because they are the inner, but on the, yeah, you get what I mean. So there's going to be a couple over here, just 1 over here, as you can see there. And then there'll be 1 in between each of these 2 pillars on the side of there. So yeah, I got the full middle, all those pillars down the straight right here. That way I can get the top all built up here. That's where everything will be here. I don't entirely know if I'm going to keep it at this level. So I'm going to try to experiment around with double carpets, making sure that the villagers can't pathfind, so I can do a workstation every block rather than having to go every other block. So I'm going to play around and see how we can come up with that. But everything is all in place for the middle here. This will remain open, as well as this. Of course, just we need to get back down to the gateway, which we just jump. Well, there's supposed to be water there. I tested it yesterday and it was fine. I didn't take any fall damage, so I don't entirely know what is up with that. If I go down a free cam here, you'll see that there is water, so maybe I clip the edge of the stair and you have to fall actually right down the middle. So we may need to integrate something into this. That way you don't just splat on the ground. Could maybe waterlog all of the other outside blocks, but then we need to change that up a little bit as well. So we'll experiment with that. Maybe if I can figure out a nice elegant way up here to do that, then we will stick with that. Because I could also open or close this off a bit more. That way there is actually less of an opening, because we really won't be flying from bottom up. Because the gateway always teleports you to the highest block, so you would always be on top of the roof more than likely for when we go through the gateway. But we're going up there right now to the nether rack, which I'm going to try to remove today. But yeah, I'm going to try to also, experiment with the laying out of the villagers here. We can't really do too much because we're already limited space-wise enough with the decoration, so it'll be rough around the edges for the most part. I might try to cover up these cobble deep slate bits with some more deep slate slabs, maybe. When I go like that, I might try to go experiment with that, because I think it does. The cobble deep slate is pretty nice, but the fact that it kind of interferes in a way with the actual smooth cleanness area of this area, I'm going to try to probably cover it up. But this area is going to be a work in progress for quite a bit. I don't entirely know what I want to do with it as of now. But yeah, so still really good progress for a single day of working on this. A little bit of help from Rubik and Alex, but majority of this top section is all been me. So I'm going to get cracking back on this today, and we'll see how it goes from there. Alright, so a bit of time later, and we got a spot up here, all the villagers. Like I said, I don't know how I'm going to wrap this up, but I think this will be the best thing right here, where we have the slabs covering all of that cobble deep slate. We got all of the librarians down from above now, so those are all down and dusted. And we also have this little villager beater here that I will be using, mainly today probably, and however long it takes us to get the rest of the villagers. So we got all those guys in here. They will be going out of there. We got a lot of carrots in here that we will be breeding with that. And yeah, the decoration is not too far away from being completed. Okay, so we got that all going there. Just a very small amount left here, as far as I can remember. Yeah, so this should be done in no time, pretty much. Then all that's left is to get the rest of the clerics in there that we're going to be using to trade for some XP bottles. But yeah, that's going really well so far. Overall, this thing has looked really, really nice. I really love how the color palette turned out and everything along those lines. So we're going to have to wait and see if I want to add a couple more columns in here of them, but we have quite a bit, like I said, so we should be good, all done, dusted there. But yeah, I'm going to get to work on moving these villagers in, getting more villagers bred up there, letting them fall down, and yeah, just going from there. So we'll be back once this area probably is fully completed and we got all of the villagers in place. Alright, so the full trading hall is completed here. We got all of our clerics on the sides here and all of our librarians on there. I got 2 villagers left. If I ever wanted to add more, I have just the right amount I need to make a new breeder. Where we can, get an endless supply from those 2 there. As you can tell, this thing is pretty much majority used for the XP bottles, which of course I was going to do. I was tempted to add a couple more halls here, but I feel like that would get way too clustered and we really don't need that. We can get pretty much a shulker box of XP bottles from one trade with all of these clerics, which I think is quite a huge step up from our last. And of course, we have all of the book villagers on the sides, which are really the only ones that we actually use on our server. So there's really no point in getting any more villagers here, as it would just create more lag that isn't obviously needed. I want this interesting design pattern on the floor here to, of course, spawn proof the rest of the area. If I turn the camera right off, you can see There is also sea lanterns hidden underneath that to light this area up. That way we have no endermen spawning. They will spawn on top, or they will not teleport in, which is actually what I want. So we have a couple of in-for box displays here for our emeralds, as well as our boxes that we're going to trade for stuff here. We take those out, we then get some in, and of course the dropper is accessible here to load extra empty boxes and or emeralds into there. On the other side, we have emerald blocks for mass storage, which is the same thing over here, and of course our XP bottles, lapis, which we will also trade for likely, and then the rest of our stuff here. So if I just take a shulker box out here, that gets broken, and there is no empty box collection, which I'm not really worried about, so don't really mind that. So let's make our way down to here. My tweakeroo just apparently did stop working there, so it said he didn't have any favorites, but now if I go in there, boom, we're gonna auto trade, and we got our bottles of enchanting. So what we're gonna do is make our way down, clicking one at a time, and it will automatically trade for us the one we have selected favorite, which of course for all of these guys here will be the bottles of enchanting. And if we ever need to trade for the redstone or whatnot, we just obviously not do this and just trade it manually, which is not that big of a deal. But mainly just for the convenience here, it is really nice to just be able to have the ability to walk down the line, click once, and have all of the stuff from this get into inventory. So I think I said the wrong number here for the amount of stuff that we get. I think it's about 2 pass-throughs that we will get a full box here of the XP bottles, which is really not too bad. So it's just 2 full loops, which you can do in a single day. Actually, even 3 full loops you can do in a single day and get a full shulker box of stuff, which will last you quite a while. Mainly we use it to repair our elytras and whatnot in our inventory. That way we don't gotta constantly keep swapping the things on and off, as well as, go into the XP farm if we needed to do so. We can just drop 16 XP bottles, and that will pretty much greatly repair the amount of your elytra durability, almost a full if you repair it at around a third of the durability left. So yeah, this thing is working wonders for us so far, and it's barely been used, as you can tell. We didn't hear any of these villagers, mainly just because there's really no point to. It's not like we're low on emeralds. So, like I said, there's really no need to make it lower. We could make it these 1-to-1, but yeah, we have about, I want to say, a little bit over 5 million emeralds, in block form, so we'll be pretty much good to go here and never run out of the stuff again. So, yeah, I'm gonna try to get rid of all of these emeralds here that I just got. We're good to go. I'm not gonna get this box filled, I don't think. Box is not filled, but it's there. We did get our other box that gets into these barrels here. This one's a no block to do first block placement for the box there, if you wanted to do that. Because if you run out of boxes here and then it's not going to place the first box, you got to manually have that no block there, and it will place the box for you. That way you don't got to actually put them in there, or just obviously place it manually. You just put them all in there, click the no block, and it'll place the first box for you. Yeah, we've used this for a little bit of redstone as well. We got some name tags in here as well. We do use quite a bit of those sometimes. And then lapis, 117 lapis is very difficult to get in terms of like anything automatic, because there's not a lot of the ore. So we went in and added that slot as well as one of our most traded things. Of course, all the books they will just get put in their own shulker box when you bring that over. To then take back to the main storage, which is mostly where that gets used, or you just bring over whatever you need and take that back there. But yeah, I am very happy with how this area turned out. It looks absolutely stunning, this thing here. So link in the description down below to where we got this from. Yeah, I really love it. And it overall a huge upgrade in terms of decoration from our old villager trading hall. So yeah, take this back to main storage, put it in our restock station that we will have there. And yeah, that's me for this episode. Make sure you like, subscribe, all sorts of things, and I'll see you in